Hey, so I recently watched the new Avatar movie, Fire and Ash, and I love it. I've loved all the movies, although I think maybe The Way of the Water was my favorite, but I thought this one had a great balance between all the characters. I still would like to see more of the mother, just in general. Like, I'm always like, isn't she the gateway that got us here? Like, we're always talking about Jake, but like, he was the human. It doesn't matter. Anyway, one thing that I feel like I got from it is sometimes it seems like the people who are taking the easier route, the route of deceit, the route of, stealing, like the Ash lady, the fire woman, the woman from the other tribe, like she was upset because she prayed and she didn't get help. And so she turned to doing things in a more hurtful way so that she could come out on top. So much so that she decided to align herself with the sky people to hurt her whole planet, really. I mean, the sky people are there to destroy the planet. And really, once they're done with all those other people, they're probably going to come for her and her tribe. Um, and you see with her and the daughter who has the connection to the mother, the mother planet, she, because she doesn't believe in this like deity, the ash, the fire and ash woman, she doesn't believe in this deity. She's like, where was that deity when we needed her? She's not real, right? And that daughter is connected to the mother. She's constantly doing things that, like, um, communicating with the mother. You saw her in a sticky situation where she needed to escape and she connected with the planet and it freed her. Got one of the plants to like take out some of the guys, and so she's like this physical embodiment of what this woman has been running from out of like anger, frustration, um, her whole life. And her existence really just, it shows her that she's been in the wrong for a long time. But the point that I'm making here is that sometimes it does seem like people are winning because they're taking the easier route, they're doing hurtful things. But I feel like what this film really emphasizes that at the end of the day, it's gonna come back. Like everything is going to equal out. Sometimes the right path is the longer path. And so those shortcuts that people are making, stealing, killing, lying, joining forces with other negative entities, it comes back to you. Also, another thing that really stuck out to me was the sun. And, sometimes you see an example of what true camaraderie means, and it just warms your heart. It makes you go, oh my God, like, I hope I'm that good of a person. And I pray to have people like that in my life. When that whale was ostracized by the other whales with all the lies, right? Remember when they were having the meeting and the whales were like, he murdered people and he this, and they're like, that's a lie. He's lying. And it's like a formal meeting. And so they're like, you cannot speak, like, hush. And he's like, no, I won't be quiet. And he left after they ostracized the whale. What's that word? Like, kicked him out of society. I can't think what that word is. You know the word. And he went on this dangerous voyage on his own. And then his friends followed because that's how much they believed in it. They're like, this is not right. It's not right. He went back there. He got the whale. He's like, I love you. You're my brother. And the whale's like, oh my gosh, like, thank you, bro. Like, I love you. Goes back, interrupts the council, and is like, listen, if he's kicked out, then I'm out. And, of course, the parents are like, but you're my child. Like, and then the other girl, she's like, yeah, and I'm out too. And everybody else is like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And that is what it looks like to really have someone's back. I mean, to really show up for someone. It's like you were saying, no, you may not, you don't want to listen to me, but I'm telling you, I'm putting everything I have on him. Everything I have on my place in society, I will give it up if you don't. acknowledge him because he belongs here and what they're saying about him isn't real. And that warmed my heart. And I think people in this world could use more of that. You know, there's so much in maybe Western culture that's about this, you know, doing things yourself, which is great. But also, we're all here together. And there's so much happening all the time that everybody sees. And sometimes people, they want to protect what they have so much, that they don't want to stand up for what's right. I've seen it a million times. I've seen it in my family. They know what's going on, but they don't want to experience the discomfort of speaking up and telling the truth. They don't want to be ostracized as well. And it really just warmed my heart seeing that. I really respected him, and I admired him, and I was inspired. I mean, I believe that I'm that way already, but I think there are moments when I could have spoken up more and I didn't. Sometimes it's confusion. Sometimes it's like, I'm not even sure what to do here. But that reminded me of like, you know what? I should just do something. Because that was just beautiful. That was beautiful. Also, speaking of that same thing, the woman, I can't think of anybody's name from the film. I'm just going to be real. So forgive me. But the mom, Avatar, when they came and took in Jake, that's his name. I remember his name because she says it so much. Jake. When they came and took Jake, that woman did not hesitate. She came up with a plan. She went and found those other, whatever you call them, that other tribe, took them out, took their little air tag so she could fly on the base. Like, I mean, the woman was thinking. And she did not stop until she left there with Jake. And of course, and that's also a metaphor for, life conspiring to help you. Because she went there not knowing how she was going to get him out. He was in this big, giant, titanium and, enforced cage thing. How was she going to get that out? She didn't know. She didn't even know what it looked like. She just showed up. And it just so happened that other guy, that human, was like, this isn't right. I'm going to free him. And so she was able to help. Oh my gosh, but anyway, wait, before I get to the other thing, I have to say, I admired her so much. Because I was like, that, speaking of the thing with the sun, that is an example of what it's like to show up for someone, to be like, absolutely not. I am not standing for that. I'm going to do what I need to do to get this person back because that's what they deserve. And man, she stood on business. I respect her so much. Wait, what was the other one? Oh yeah, oh my goodness. Speaking of her, one thing I loved, I do remember his name too. Spider. They do a really good job of having all these characters and there being a story for them. I mean, it's 3.5 hours long, so there's a long time and 3 movies. So a total of 10 hours or something, 10.5 hours. But Spider, right? So when the parents were like, Spider's gotta go, I was like, you have lost it. But we all know in real life, this happens. Parents make decisions sometimes and you're sort of like, bruh. You're like, I get that you have concerns, but this is not your finest moment, you know? I love that the kids stood up for him. That's great. And I was surprised, but also understanding about the mother being like, he's not well. I mean, she was so fierce with it. She was like, he does not belong. And I get it. He's the bad guy's son, the bad guy. So I get it. Why would you want his son in your tribe? He's gonna come looking for him, right? And also at the same time, I was, inspired by him. He was so loving and kind, and has that youthful joy and spirit to him. He's so whatever. So there's so many things to talk about with him. I'm not even sure where to start. One is I have to do it in order. I'm just gonna jump to it actually. It's this. When Jake decided, you know what, after he got rescued and Spider helped him escape, right? He stands in front of the gun so they don't shoot him, which oh my gosh, brave young child, right? He gets free with, his wife and Spider. They escape together and he's like, you know what, you're right. They're gonna wanna figure out how he's breathing the air, they're not going to stop, and then they're going to colonize the planet, so we have to kill him. And then the wife is like, after all that, after she was like, he doesn't belong, he doesn't belong. She's like, he just saved your life. And he's like, I know, but this is gonna happen. And she's like, no. He's like, it's done. Starts leading the boy into the woods. And I'm like, right? And, you know, she's sitting there. She's like, she's distraught. She's literally in contemplation. And you're like, this is a lot for her to change her mind. She does not like him. And she's like, you can't kill him. She's sitting there, like, still thinking about it. Like, no, 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 right? And he sits him down, and the kid starts to figure out what's going on. And he's like, you know, please, please, please. And, you know, and that was really, I started crying. I'm not going to lie. I started crying. And then when the kid was like, you know what, do you still love me? And he's like, yeah, I still love you. And he goes, okay, you can do it. And I was like, that's all he wanted to know. Do you still love me? Like, oh my gosh, it's like such a beautiful example of like humanity, of like, that's all the boy cared about. Like, do you love me? And then at the same time, the wife, I cannot think of her name, is like washing her face. And she has the like paint from the other tribe on her because she was imitating the tribe to get in there. And so it looked like she had blood on her hands. She sees it and she comes running, right? And just at that moment when he does the like, right? And for a second I thought, they're not gonna do it. But then when he made the strike, I was like, did he really just, and I'm not someone who gets fooled by fake outs, like usually. But I thought for a second, like, oh my gosh, they killed Spider. And when I realized they didn't, I was like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. And then she came over, she's crying. She's like, oh my gosh, I see you. I see you. Which is like, I think, probably the ultimate, like, compliment isn't the word, but like recognition, I think in that world specifically, probably in any world. But like, you know, it's like, I see you. Maybe I didn't see you before, but I do now. And you're one of us. You belong here. This is not the way. We have to figure out another way to like deal with this whole thing, because this isn't it. And that warmed my heart, because it's true. It's like an example of like politics getting in the way of things. You know, it's like, but he's aligned with this person, so he can't be here, and you know what, he has to die. And it's like, no, everybody calm down. We're not killing anybody, especially not this kid. Like, what are we doing? Like, and it's so easy to get caught up in the politics, and you know, and even going further beyond that, this film kept pushing that boundary when it came to, I don't know his name, but Spider's father, the like colonel guy. He has been for 3 movies set on killing Jake. And in this movie, every time he comes to kill Jake, his son gets in danger. And then he and Jake together work together to save his son, because they both love his son. And every time, right after they save him, it's like, okay, well, this is kind of weird, isn't it? Like, I guess we just work together, and I mean, are we gonna kill each other now, or like what? And I feel like what they were doing with the colonel is slowly opening him up to the reality that like, you're just fighting for this side because that's the way you were conditioned to be. But the more you live as one of us, the more you experience love, you realize it's not necessary, and you realize the beauty of life that's here, that they're trying to destroy. And I feel like that's what the colonel was being pulled into slowly, slowly. I mean, his life keeps getting spared, and I feel like it's for a reason. And I remember that conversation they had with Jake, when they had Jake locked up and they were like, we're gonna execute him tomorrow. And Jake was like, bruh, you need to connect with the earth. There's so much beauty here, and you don't even realize it. There's so much beauty, so much love here. And for a second, you could see the colonel being like, huh, you know? And you know, he just aligned with the fire woman for, you know, I think they are equals in their sort of like, don't give upness, right? So I think that they aligned on that level. but I don't think either one of them trusts the other one. You know what I mean? That was just an alliance of like, we have the same enemy, so let's get together. Um, but I feel like in the end, even though, isn't this the last movie? Like, there's not going to be another one, right? I don't know. But in my mind, the Colonel's eventually going to become one of them, you know? And another moment that I really loved was when the one daughter who's connected to the mother deity, when she connected and you could see the face of the mother like slowly turning to recognize her, it was like, it's like seeing your higher self. It's like I don't even know how to put it, like the way that I saw it in my head, like an Indian deity, like existing in another dimension, like seeing this massive being like look at you. Like that's what it looked like. Of course the connection got broke right as it was about to look at her, but she is powerful. She is so connected to the planet, to everything. And she has, like, all of the kids have shown, the youngest one not quite, because I mean they're a baby, but all of them have shown that they have like something. Like she has a strong connection um with the planet, that every time there's an emergency she connects and something happens. The forces align to help her in that situation. And with the young man, he has a lot of bravery. He's still learning about himself. Like, remember, like, he's like, I want to help Dad. And he's like, where's your comms? That's the first step, bruh, your comms. And then the next scene, he doesn't have his comms again. And it causes them trouble, right? So it's like, okay, he's still young. He's still a little irresponsible, yes, but his heart is good and he is brave. That's the one thing that he has shown, his bravery, his courageousness, and his sort of, what is the integrity. Like, his integrity is insane. And that goes a long way, you know? I love that. I also, like, felt the scene where the two mothers, remember when the one mother of the water people, the like leader of the tribe, mother was dying, and you know, her and the mother, I can't think of her name, the mother of the family that we're close to, the main characters, they have not been getting along. They often fight, or argue, I should say, disagree. And of course, in the face of like extreme emergency, she's gonna die. She has a baby. She's having the baby. And she's like, girl, I got you. My favorite moment was she's like, you're not gonna die. She goes, I'm gonna have this baby. I'm gonna die. And she goes, okay, well then push. It's like she's helping her out, but she's still annoyed with her personality, even to the end. Like, she's like, girl, I got you. But also like, shut the fuck up. And I loved that so much. That was beautiful. The whole film was honestly beautiful. And I loved how the sky people, not the sky people, the like bird people, like her initial tribe, the ones who fly in the air, the way of the air, as opposed to the water, when they needed something, they showed up. When her like little flying bird thing took her back home, and they're like, she's like, the kid, you know, she wakes up and she's like, the kids. And they're like, well, where are they? And everybody is riding out. That's what real like unity looks like, real family. And I think so, you know, a lot of us might be in families where there's not a real love there. There's not a real connection. There's not a true integrity. You know what I mean? You know, they're not gonna ride to the, you know, into a battle for you. And I think a lot of people in the world are looking for that kind of connection, and it still exists. Some people, it is their family that's like that. And other people, it's their chosen family. I mean, even them, like, for example, they still have, you know, their tribe, but also the new tribe that they formed with the water people. When they first got there, you know, there was so much tension between them and the leaders. Now the leaders bow before them. That's how respected they are, you know? And so it's like, you can find that in the world too. You'll go somewhere And over time, people will see your heart. They'll see who you are. And these are people of integrity, people with values, people who respect you and care so deeply for what it is you bring to the world that they're really willing to risk their lives to protect you. They put their entire families in danger to protect you when your actual family won't even part with like $20 if you were in need. They just go, oh, I wish I could help you. There's nothing I can do. And I feel like this film touches on something so profound and spiritual. And I love it. I really do. I cried. And I felt so touched. I felt changed as a person. It also, like, okay, this is the last thing I'm going to say. It also made me feel like, I don't know how to describe this. Like, in my mind, there's never been, like, a family in my mind, like, in the sense of, like a household family. Like, I have kids, and I have this, and I never had, like, the idea of it existed. Like, I can imagine that. But there was never, like, a space in my head for that. And for whatever reason, I was watching it, and it was partially the boy, when I was watching the boy, and it felt like he was like my son. I was watching him like, oh my gosh, like, bless that boy's heart. He's so sweet. And he's just like looking for love. And his father, there was just so many moments where he was like vulnerable and honest and trying. And it was just so beautiful that I wanted to like protect him. I wanted to encourage him. I wanted to just give him love. And suddenly I felt like I had that in my life. It was the strangest thing. It was like suddenly I felt married. Suddenly I felt like I had a spouse and I had kids and I had these people that I cared about so deeply because I just felt it more in that movie than I've ever seen in my actual waking life, which is a testament to James Cameron and the movie making process. I mean, that is beautiful. Like, can you imagine, like, that you make a film that makes someone feel something that they've never even felt in their own life, that's available, like, to life, you know what I'm saying? I think you do know what I mean. Anyway, that's my thoughts on Avatar. I loved it. I would recommend go seeing it. I almost want to see it again, I'm going to be honest. And I saw it in 3D. Is it only in 3D? I don't know. And it's just beautiful. It's amazing to see what they can do. You're like, oh my gosh, like, technology, like, just, it was crazy. But anyway, yeah, thank you so much for watching. Subscribe, do whatever you want to do, really. I don't know. And I'll see you next time.